Good evening, and welcome back, heroes! We are on the Cultist. Ooh, I just realized we don't have rings or a necklace. I tried to get all this set up before we got on. Hold on. Let's grab two of these. There we go. And we need necklace. Alright, so we're doing a Tauren just to kind of give a showcase of the new zone for them. So we're going to grab up all those quests. I've already got everything situated now, including our outfit. That way we didn't have to waste time doing that. Because unfortunately, when we were doing the, what was it? The Necromancer, we wasted a lot of time trying to get stuff set up properly. And so we kind of just ran out of time to really get into the Necromancer. We still got up to, I want to say 14 or 15 right before we logged off. I think it was 15. Before we logged off yesterday morning. Ooh. Already having issues with... That's not a good start for the cultist. Let me put it that way. There we go. Already taking big damage, losing way more mana than we did with the other guys. And we're not doing big numbers. See, the thing with Necromancer is you've got that... Your first primary skill as you level up is going to slow the target. It does 25 points of damage, which is roughly what we're doing right now with this guy. But being able to do that slow, so it was harder for enemies to get to us, really made a huge difference in my opinion. It's good to see that our mana can regenerate pretty quickly outside of combat for this guy, though, because it feels like we're using so much mana. Like, let's just wait for a second. Just watch how fast that jumps back up. So, that part's good. So we will see. But yeah, it doesn't feel like we're doing a ton of damage yet. There's level 2. And that was just telling us, hey, we gotta pay attention to our madness meter now. Okay, we jumped from 22 to 26. We got a 4-point damage increase going from level 1 to level 2. That was 25. That was a miss. Okay, so we're doing 25 to 26 damage per hit. If we hit, we've missed more on this character than I think we ever did on any of the other casters so far. So the hit rate is a little wonky in my opinion, but all right, let's see here. Now, I will say the reason why we picked the Tauren is, one, I don't showcase the Tauren all that much because I kind of hate the Tauren, to be perfectly honest with you. I think they're, as far as the Horde goes, one of the worst classes to level, or races to level. Even with the new area that they added in here, it's rough. It really is, because it requires you to do a lot of this back and forth running, right? Unlike the orcs, where you go out, you got 2 quests, but then you can pick up a 3rd quest while you're out there in order to, take out another enemy and do that. The undead, it's like you walk out, you take out some bats, you got to go turn that into town, and then as soon as you turn it into town, you're usually level 2. In which case you're picking up, 2 more quests that require you to barely walk outside of town in order to pick up even more quests. Or to take out the enemies so that you can hit level 3 and then get more quests. And it just continues on from there. So the orcs and trolls, they get a really good start. Undead and blood elves get a really start. The Tauren kind of got screwed, in my opinion, on how their class operates and behaves. It's just not good. So this is where the cultist is. Now we are staying to spellcasters, by the way. That's the thing that we're testing out, because I'm going to start maining a spellcaster back on this server so that we can figure out what we like when the server goes live, if it at this point ever does go to the live platform. I really hope that it does soon. Okay, and then we get quite a few quests now that we're level 2. Let's see if we can find a vendor to sell to real fast. There we go. Shouldn't have picked that up because that's just a waste of space. Alright, that got us up to 3 silver. That should be plenty to get. Alright, we ended up getting 2 spells at level 2. We have Abyssal Strike for our melee weapon. Strike an enemy for 50% weapon damage plus 9 to restore 10% of your base mana. So that's how we can get some mana back. Not bad there. And then we have Sanity Tap. Regain your sanity, reducing your insanity by 20 and restoring up to 10% of your maximum mana. So that's another way of getting mana back for your spellcaster versus having to do melee. I'm going to put this on here because this actually generates insanity and mana, and this drains insanity. Now, I don't even have to look at the quest line because I've done this enough times. But the next set of quests, there's cats over here that we need to do while we go run up and talk to her. And then we've got the bristleboars over here to do. Oh, that was a swing and a miss. There we go. Now, as far as melee goes, we don't really have that big of a melee option right now. But we'll keep going. Oh, wow, that wasn't a drop? Oh, there's a plane strider. That's why. I was like, wait a minute. I think because we're using a staff, I think it's just easier for us to spellcast even at point blank range. Ooh, that hit hard. We do start off with a heal, which is great. So if you are in a party and you want to be more the damage healer until level 10, you do have that option where you can do a little bit of damage. Ooh. And then see how our mana's low? We can literally just go bam, and it gives us some mana back. Not a lot, because we didn't have that much insanity up, but... Oh, excuse me. Alright. And away we go. Now, I will say, so far, spellcasting doesn't feel very good. I mean, I know we are only level 3, but still, I wish it did a little bit more damage to put it on par with some of the others that we've already played, like the Pyromancer. Stormbringer felt way more powerful, especially once you got Call Lightning, which I think was at level 4. You know, we really felt more powerful with the Stormbringer. Pyromancer felt a little bit more powerful, but I think that's because the spells procced faster. Necromancer at this point felt way better too, simply because it was capable of slowing the enemy, like I was saying earlier. It really got to do some serious damage. We need one more kitty cat. I do like the visual effect, though, of this little purple orb flying out. Oh, that's a miss. There we go. Yeah, we've 100% had more misses on this character than we have, I think, so far combined on the others. At least it didn't feel like they were missing all that much, if they missed at all. Well, it's not true. I know the Necro was missing quite a few times, but it didn't feel like it was really harming us. But we also had a pet, so this class doesn't have a pet that I'm aware of. All right, so we completed that. Now we've got 2 quests here. We've got the Chief Sharp Tusk Thornmantle's Head. We've got the Bristleback Pelts. We're actually going to go do... or no, that starts the new quest stuff. So we're going to go turn this in and see if we can get the other quest for here. I don't think we can yet. I think we actually have to go in and complete one quest in order to come back and do the others. Wrong button. And we're going to be going the corruption build for this guy. If I remember correctly, Cultist has 4 total builds. If memory serves me correctly, they have a spellcaster, they have a melee DPS, they have the tank, and they have a healer. I could be wrong on that, but I believe that's what they have. Yep, battle boards. There we go. Gotta go over here and do the piggies. But like, as you can see, we're now going to be spending the majority of our time running from way over here to way over here. I feel like this area, for the most part, should be more like here-ish, right? Because then it's, you run up, do some birds, run back down, run over here, do some cats, run back over here, run over here, do some stuff, run back over here. You know what I mean? Like, this camp should be down somewhere around here, so that it's got you're more central to where you're running versus way over here, then you're having to book it to all these other areas. That's cool. I didn't realize we needed 2 things from these guys. Okay, there we go. There'll be more piggies this way as we head to go do our quest. Now, on Bronzebeard, there is a quest if you are, I believe, a shaman, where you have to go in here and take out the shamans in the Briarthorn. What's this place called? Brambleblade something, right? Ravine. I can't read it, but I believe it's called the Brambleblade Ravine. If you're a Shami, I believe you have a quest. I don't think it's in this version here on COA, since shamans don't exist. Unless they unlock that quest for everybody to do. Good lord. Alright. Like, I don't even respond to that anymore because it's 1,000% just a bot. Because here's what happens. You go, oh, hey, cool. Let me, add that person on Discord. And then they might talk to you for a couple normal sentences. You'd be like, hey, whatever. And then all of a sudden they're like, by the way, I think you should pay me X amount of money, and I will do A, B, and C, whatever that happens to be. So all it is it's a bot trying to get you to sign up to their whatever page to do the services, quote unquote, that they offer. And so it's really annoying to get those bots. And I wish there was a way Discord could, or not Discord, but Twitch could do something about it. Oh. That might be tricky. Oh, I missed. Wow, we lose sanity so fast. Really? Stop missing. Come on. But it feels so hard to gain insanity. Like, this just generates 5. Right? So if we have a skill later on that requires insanity to, and we're level 4, I didn't realize or I didn't process that we leveled, let me put it that way. Oh my god, stop missing. Just on the principle that we've missed that many times, and it's a noticeable miss. I'm not a fan of this. All right, so this is Gaze of Cthulhu. Enemy deals 34 shouted. Okay, so this is. Oop. That's not what I wanted to do. And it's got like a 15-second cooldown. That's not fun for me. So it's either a dot or a hot, this Gaze of Cthulhu. Now, the one thing that I'm worried about that we may end up dying from is when we go to take out this boss. He's got 1 melee with him, 1 shaman with him, and then him himself. So it may get a little dicey, although it stop missing. Like, even our eyeball missed. Unless it doesn't do dot damage, it just does single point of damage, maybe. Yeah, it looks like it's just a single point of damage. Oh, okay. So we heal for 30. So it's just one. It's not a hot. It's just 1 point, or 1 hit of heals, and then for 8 seconds, we can see stealth enemies around us. Got it. That is not as useful as I was thinking it was going to be. Would have been nice if that was a channeled ability, maybe. Oh my gosh, stop mincing. There's level 5. You know what I mean? I feel like we're missing so much more than we did on any of the other characters. So you see Shaman, we see the Quillbore, and then we see him. We want to take him out first, and then work on the other melee, and then work on the Shaman. So what I do is I target him, and then we're just going to focus fire him. Then we want to hit him. Let's try and heal up a little bit. There we go. There we are. Nice and easy. Well, let's heal up. We got another person. Shaman ran out of mana, which is nice. And boop. We got a shiny red apple. We'll eat that. Just because mana regenerates fast enough right now. And then we're going to go get this bonus quest. As well as the World Forged item that's up here. And then we're going to hearth back to town. So we can turn all these in. Because we've already got 3 turn-ins, 2 turn-ins. We've got 2 turn-ins. We're about to get a 3rd. Actually, no, we do have 3. We're about to get a 4th. That's what it is. Math! Meow. We want to go for the level 5 first. Because he's going to have the most amount of health and do the most amount of damage. Take him out first. Then we can switch to the Shaman. There we go. Getting crits is good. Grab the World Forged item. Grab that extra quest. So as you can see, we're done here, and now we've got 4 things to turn in there. So we are going to hearth back. All right. Nope. Turn in. Hopefully this gets us to 6. Not that turn in, but turning in all these hopefully will get us where we need to go. 16, 37. Because we need money, money, money. $10, $75, $88, $64, $75, please. Rights of the Earth Mother again. So now we actually have a quest that brings us up here. We're not going to go do that yet. We did hit level 6. So we get Horror Bolt gets to go rank up. We also now have Blade of the Empire. So this generates 15 insanity, strikes an enemy dealing 26 shadow damage, plus an additional effect based on your active presence. So now we're about to get presence. We have Presence of N'Zoth, which is the very first one that we get. Presence of N'Zoth. Assume a dark presence, giving melee damage dealt by you a 5% chance to summon a tentacle of the old gods for 15 seconds. Blade of the Empire now has a 10% increased chance to summon a tentacle of the old god. Yeah, we're out of money. Not good. We need more monies. Okay. Alerts Mending gets an upgrade. So we're gonna go ahead and put this this one on, even though we're not really doing damage with melee. If they get within range now, we do have a decent melee weapon or skill that can help us do a little bit more damage in that melee range. So this is where meleeers for the class are going to really start to push out some damage that the spellcaster just doesn't seem to have the capacity to currently do. Because, like, we now leveled this up, so now it is dealing 51 shadow damage, plus any increases from our level and intellect. Whereas, like, this one is doing 26 shadow damage, not a lot, plus the additional effect based on our presence. The additional effect is just we have an increased percentage chance to do the tentacle of the old god to be spawned. Eventually, we'll actually be able to spawn a tentacle ourselves. And we'll have to make a macro for that so that we can throw one out without having to really worry about it too much. And see, it did spawn one over there. So, we got to get a little bit of extra damage from it. Spawned another one. So, good combo right now is to do melee. Or to do hybrid for what we're trying to do. And our insanity is slowly skyrocketing. There we go. Okay. Now we just need to go run way over there to that hut. That hut. Get 2 more quests. Or rather, get 2 completions. Okay. Give me that. And then I see a locky box in here with a ring. Gift of the tallest warrior of 3 totems. Mirajah Hollowfoot marked him from childhood, and though many years lay between them, she considered to claim him as her mate, hoping one day to drive him against his father. She did, and he died. Okay. That's messed up story. Well, shoot. Because it's going to respawn that fast, yeah. Oh. Alright, alright, I'll take it. One tap. It's days like today where the only messages I get while streaming are from bots that really make me want to stop trying to do Twitch altogether and just do YouTube. I don't get these bots on YouTube, man. Twitch, though, it's like without fail, I get 2 or 3 a day when I'm streaming on Twitch. It's ridiculous. And like, what's even crazier is like, I'll watch people on Twitch doing, different games that I'm interested in, and I don't see those chats pop up. Like, I don't know if they do or if they found a way to block it or, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't really looked into it too hard, but it's just so frustrating seeing those chats pop up and knowing that all it is a computer program. It's not even so. That's what really frustrates me. It's not someone typing that out. It's just a computer program that they pull up Twitch, and any stream that's live, supposedly, is it supposed to just log in, click the thing, click out. Log in, click the thing, click out. And it's crazy. This is a bow? Death and dishonor. You have come to dishonor my family. Because of this, you shall be excommunicated. Ma? Alright. So this part's going to be a little trickier just because there's so many dang birds that want to fight you. Because, like, they did a weird thing with the aggro range on these birds. Is if they detect someone looting nearby, they will aggro. And if you don't do it right, you will literally pull all of those birds at one time. And I don't care what class you're playing, at this low level, there is no way to stay alive. Here we go. Really starting to feel powerful now. Okay, now we get to go turn in those 3 quests. Or two quests, sorry. Even though I need 3 pieces for one of them. Cruel Carrion Spirit Slain. It's that guy right there. There we go. Now all 3 quests are done. Okay, we'll talk to him in just a second as soon as we turn in these 2 quests to this guy. Already level 7. Let's see. That's 1-8, 1-8, 1-8, 1-8. All right. I am prepared. I am prepared to do the things that you say I need to do. That was probably one of the best lines in Burning Crusade when was it Black Temple? Was that the name of it? I'm not moving. Am I glitched? There we go. Yeah, Black Temple, I believe is what it was called. When you fought Illidan Stormrage. That was his thing, was always, you are not prepared. And so, anytime there's a quest that makes that kind of a reference, I think it's really fun. In Legion, was it Legion? Yeah. In Legion, there's an achievement that you have to get in order to unlock one of the new races, or allied races is what they're called, called You Are Prepared. And the quest giver for all of the quests that are associated with that particular achievement is Illidan Stormrage. So it's really fun to see when things like that get connected. So, I super love those kinds of achievements, those kinds of quests that bring back the nostalgia of a time where you heard "you are not prepared" so many times. We get that. We gotta fight this guy. This guy is not fun. He's a level 7 elite, and he hits like an absolute truck. Hopefully, we can take this guy down. Now, the beautiful thing is we have the ability to heal. He's going to do a charge. I was nowhere near him, so I don't understand how that was supposedly hit me. We're going to go ahead and cast our heal real quick. There we go. Ooh. We're going to heal again. Uh-oh, we're insane. And he gets to heal, which is annoying. But so do we. Oh, our own insanity is going to get us killed this time. I don't like the fact that I'm out of the way of that, and I still somehow get hit. Now, for classes that don't have heals, you have to do that fight so perfectly. It's frustrating. Yank. Do you give me anything? Oh, somebody was getting in trouble. I gotta assist at getting on to them. Them bad kids. I got I heard two of the greatest stories, in my opinion, of what parents do when their kids are misbehaving during this time of the year. One mom said that once they get all the presents wrapped and everything and they're under the tree, what they do is they go, if their kids are misbehaving to the point where they're like, we got to do something to, get these kids to understand the lesson, to drive home the point, make it worth them remembering the lesson we're trying to teach. And so she basically went, the way we did that was, if they misbehave to the point where there needs to be a severe consequence or punishment, we make them go pick out a present that's under the tree. They get to unwrap it, and then we take it back to the store. And I was like, I would be devastated as a kid if my parents had done that when I was growing up. I mean, absolutely devastated. Because, like, I mean, think about it. That's probably the worst punishment you could do. I would have rather been like, how many spankings do I need to take to not lose a gift? You know what I mean? Like, that would have been my thought process, I think, as a kid. Is I would rather get a spanking, get grounded, whatever, than lose presence. Level 8. Let's see what we've got in store for us with the book. Tentacle of the Old God. Here we go. Generates 15 insanity. This is crazy. Absolute crazy here. Generates 15 insanity. Summon a Tentacle of the Old God at the target location for 15 seconds that deals 14 shadow damage to an enemy every 1.5 seconds. Scales with spell power and attack power. Above 60 insanity, the cost of this spell is removed. So if we are above 60, it will still generate that 15, but it won't cost us 30 mana to do it. Ooh, I didn't mean to exit out of that. Presence of Cthulhu. Assume an unholy presence, giving damage dealt by you a 20% chance to increase your haste by 15% for 6 seconds. Blade of the Empire increases the range of Blade of Empire by 35 yards and grants it additional spell power scaling. So right now, this is 5-yard range. When we use Presence of Cthulhu versus N'Zoth, right? That's a dark presence. This is a unholy presence. Now our blade is a 40-yard range, which means that this thing, just to put that in perspective, I'm trying to stop moving at me. There we go. Look how far away now we can cast Blade of Cthulhu. Blade of the Empire. We no longer need to be on top of somebody to use this spell, because now it is a spell. So it generates insanity for us. It does damage. And now, on top of all of that, we also get an increased haste rating. So, looking good so far. We didn't really get anything else. That was pretty much it. Yeah. Didn't really get anything else. We got 2 levels to go, and we will hit level 10, which is awesome. We got 15 minutes to do it. I don't think we're going to get to level 10 by the time we get there, but... so we've got Rites of the Earth Mother. That takes us up over here into Bloodhoof Village. But there should be one more quest now that we can pick up in Camp Narache. Camp Narache here. That takes us up here to do a thing, to where then we can take a flight point, technically. There. And it's probably the coolest flight point I've seen so far on any race. Because none of the other races that I've played have a flight point you can do this early on. And so yeah, it's just awesome. Smoke on the horizon. And the book gives us some quests. It's gonna be rank up your skills and yeah. In and less running, more rezzing. In case we die. There we go. So far, none of our spellcasters, I don't think, off the top of my head, I don't think we've lost a spellcaster to death yet. Y'all have to check me on that, but I don't think so. But yeah, so now we got to run up there. And it does seem counterintuitive, because you actually have to run past it to run up to it. Because you actually run like you're going to leave the area to run up this little bitty road to get up here. Let's see here. This one gives us the go to the end quest. A task unfinished. That's a bag. Don't care. If you're not going to do the Smoke on the Horizon quest, you can take the cart. It will take you to Bloodhoof Village. But any new quest, I think, is always worth doing. For two reasons. One, it's a quest. It gives you XP. But number two, the developers of the game, or of the mod, I should say, of the server that we were playing on, went out of their way to try and find a way to make this unique experience for us. And so by doing the quests that aren't in retail WoW, I think is worth doing for that sole purpose. Just going on, doing the new quests, checking out new zones, like Iris Sanctuary Summit, which is where we are right now. This is not in retail. This whole thing was built by the server admins. So, and she's the Stay a While and Listen quest line. I know it's just Stay a While, but let's be honest, it's a reference to Deckard Cain in Diablo for the Stay a While and Listen. Like, I mean, come on, seriously. That's what this quest is. Oh, dang, she didn't speak fast, or she didn't cycle through it fast enough. Come on. I need you to stop talking, please. There we go. I've heard enough of your dang story. So, full sanctuary, and for it, it's this right here. You just come back while you're inside the water. It's easier to do it on the backside than trying to do it over here on the front. But you get that, and then you go talk to this other guy. Because now it says parachute used. We don't have a parachute in our inventory. But if you talk to this guy right here, can I borrow one of your gliders to get to Bloodhoof Village? Parachute used. And this is arguably the coolest way to get anywhere from one village to another. This is peak, like, somebody gave the Taurens some super love on this. And there's a new little spot right here and right back here that was added, which I think is really, really cool. Like, there's a lot going on with the Tauren that is awesome. Like, I just want to preface that. There is a lot with this class that is fantastic. Or not the class, but the race, right? There is the Make-A-Wish Foundation kid. There is, you know, the fact that Tauren were they were supposed to be these like nomads who traveled around, and originally we weren't supposed to have mounts. We were supposed to have kind of like the Worgen, where you have the ability to just run in your Worgen form at mount speeds. We were supposed to be able to do the same thing, and then they were like, we want to step away from having a race do that. This was before the Worgen came out. So I think they should have gone back after the fact and changed it for the Tauren, but it is what it is. We arguably have one of the best non-war chief leaders in the Horde with Karen Bloodhoof. He's the reason I think the Horde has stayed together for as long as it has in lore purposes. Because he was like the right-hand dude beside, like, him and Vol'jin were the go-to guys for Thrall. Like, Thrall had a problem and he needed to talk about it. It was Cairn and it was Vol'jin that he went to. So it's crazy how he named someone totally different than either of those two guys when it came time to nominate somebody for I thought I did. Oh, I didn't. And boop. I thought this was an appropriate mount. But yeah, it's just like to not name Vol'jin or Cairn, and instead he gives it up to Grimosh Hellscream. Or Garrosh, sorry. Garrosh Hellscream. Who then tries to basically annihilate every race, Horde or Alliance, that isn't Orc. During Mists of Pandaria, right? Just atrocious. Atrocious. And then when he falls, it goes to wasn't it Vol'jin next? Yes. So it goes from Garrosh Hellscream to Vol'jin, and then Vol'jin gives it up to Sylvanas. And the whole time you've got Cairn over here like holding the entirety of the Horde together. And it's like, why aren't we picking that guy? You know what I mean? Like, is he the secret Sith Lord? Like, is that what's really going on? Is he the true big bad in the Horde? You know what I mean? Is there something going on with Cairn Bloodhoof that we just don't know? So it's one of those things. Like, it's never really made sense why he's been the stalwart figure along with Vol'jin for so long in the game, and then all of a sudden they were just like, nah, we're gonna give it to this guy that no one cares about. And yes, for lore purposes, he is a prominent person with Garrosh, but nobody cares about it. Like, nobody was clamoring for him to be the war chief. So it's just one of those things where, like, I feel like, missed opportunity for the Tauren to really have a prominent leading role in the Horde. Because first it went Orcs, twice, technically. Well, not really. So Thrall was like peace to everybody. He was trying to broker peace between the Horde and the Alliance for a long time. And then Garrosh comes in. He screws all that up because he's like, nope, if you're not an Orc, you should just die. And then when Vol'jin took over, he started trying to fix the issues that had popped up because of Garrosh. And he somewhat got it fixed. And then he gets essentially assassinated. And then Sylvanas comes in, and she gets it to where we're like, oh, awesome, the Horde and the Alliance are really going to work together. We're really going to be a team and save Azeroth. And then she basically goes, nah, I'm not going to try and correct anybody thinking that I set up the king of the Alliance, and because of that, it breaks out a whole war, and she starts to go a little crazy, and she goes from, basically trying to figure out a way to make the undead capable of reproducing, because they can't. After you beat the Lich King, his power to, like, resurrect people goes away. And so she's like, I need to figure out how to fix this. Like, I don't want my people to basically just die off. And, so yeah, I mean, it's a whole lot of... The lore gets very crazy very quickly, but I think it's a lot of interesting stuff to really look into if you like rich backstory and lore. All right. Oh, that was a nice hit. Boom. Come on. Whew. Now we'll say it's about average when it comes to leveling so far, with the exception of I want to say, well, I don't know. We'll have to, when we get done with the 2 hours today, we'll back out and see roundabout what everybody's levels are. But it feels like we are about even with everybody. The only reason why our Pyromancer is going to be higher level is, number one, he had 4 hours in which to level up his stuff. Do I have the staff for this? Does not look like it. Does not look like I have that quest yet. But the Pyromancer is higher level because he was able to get lucky enough to. We made a friend while playing the Pyromancer, who was nice enough to rush us through some mana storms, which was awesome, and we're super thankful for that. But at the same time, we also had 4 hours with the Pyromancer, whereas the other characters have had 2 to 2.5 hours worth of gameplay. And in that time frame, they've all gotten roughly about the same amount. Hi, you level a Shadow Cow? What do you mean, Asmodine? We're currently making a Cultist Cow, if that's what you mean. I mean, I'm making the cow for 2 reasons. One, because I give it a lot of a lot of grief for being a very difficult class to level quickly, or race rather, to level quickly, because of how the quests are all spread out, especially at the start. Uh, but outside of that, I mean, we're doing this just because it seemed funnier to make a cultist that is a Tauren, which is historically and lore accurate, a shaman slash druid type class, or race rather. They're the nomads that, they're, peace, love, friendship, don't hurt people. So it's fun breaking the lore of a race just because you can. All right, that got us to 9. We need one more level. We hit 10 and we get to pick our spellcasting for our class. We're not missing as much, which is good. I've already got that egg. It gives you a serpent pet. Oh, you want COA? Yes, I am. Boom. Basically, what I'm doing, just so you know, Asmodine, is I am trying to figure out what spellcaster class I want to main and get up to 60, and just stick with that one class unless somebody asks to see a different one. Don't need to fight that. So I'm going through all the spellcaster classes right now, um, to figure out what exactly it is I want to play. As of right now, Stormbringer is going to be it, because I'm really enjoying the Stormbringer again. But we still have quite a few more classes to try and get through. When it comes to Tuesday, Wednesday, since I am off both of those days, those are going to be longer streams. I'm not sure if we're just going to pick a class and level it for the entire day, or if we go through and we go, okay, we're just going to try and blitz through as many of the classes we haven't done, and just go, okay, every 2 hours we're switching to this class. You know what I mean? So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But that's kind of my game plan for Tuesday and Wednesday. And then Thursday, it kind of just depends on when everybody leaves. I know we have family coming. If they are going to be here all day, then I probably won't stream at all, but I don't think they're going to be. Especially since I know we do have quite a bit of people coming from out of town. And typically, part of my family, they get together and they'll, sit around and chit chat about things that I just don't really care about. And so I usually find some excuse to get away. I'm not sure I'll stream until a good portion of them leave, but we'll see how Thursday goes. There we go. There is a World Forged item right here that's actually a World Forged item and not a little pet thing. We need 2 more Skinners, and I think I just saw both of them. There's this one here. And then I believe that was one, yep, right here. Yoink. Okay, that quest is now done. We need more Plane Striders. And we need more of the... There's another Plane Strider. We need more of the Vultures. That is what we're looking for right now. We haven't even been using Tentacle of the Old God because I need to get... Do I still have that macro? That's the question. I do. Oop, that was not what I wanted to do. But now, this will place it anywhere my mouse is. So if I leave my mouse alone, for the most part, there we go. Kaboom. Alright, there's all the Plane Striders that we needed. No, leave me alone, wolf. I see a vulture right there. Alright, fine. You wanna go, dude? swoopity swoops. There's another swoopity swoop. We need 5 of those guys. 4 more. There's a swoopity swoop over here. Says there's supposed to be. I don't see it. There's a swoopity swoop. I see it. Three more. Oh, leave me alone. See another swoop-diddy swoop right there. Okay, 2 more. There's 1. Yoink. Oh, he deflected. Punk. There we go. 1 more. Hopefully this is the last one we need for this. Right. And then we'll run over here and grab this quest right here. Okay. She wants us to pick up this. Let me tell you, this was confusing to figure out how to do. Because the first time we ever picked up this quest, these weren't sparkling. And so I'm like, okay, where the heck do I go to get prairie sap? So, luckily we figured out, and now they actually have it sparkling, so much easier to see. And then as far as the Kodos go, you just need the 2 that are wandering around. Okay, we'll try it. Oh, there we go. Quest complete. Okay. It like hovers in the air incredibly long. It's like got slow fall or something, bro. That's crazy. There's a World Forged item that we're gonna go pick up over here. I'm headed back this way so I can do the turn in the quest for the Kyle has gone missing quest. And then we'll go from there. Come on, give me that fishing spear. Okay. Usually you can find Kyle just running around out here. I'll take that, thanks. Kyle! Here, puppy, puppy, puppy. Here, puppy dog. Where are you, puppy dog? There he is. So make sure you're clicked on him before you click on the tender strider meat. Otherwise, it will not work. Because you'll do the whistle when you click on it, but he'll just keep running. You have to click on him. And then wait for it to say that you've given it to him. There you go. If you run off too soon, it can also cause the quest to not properly update. We have a turn in over here. Then we have a turn in up over this way. There's number 10. Yeah, so I was right. There are 4 separate builds. Okay? The one that it says everyone should do if you've never played the game before and you're just trying to get your feet wet when it comes to the cultist is you should be doing the Godblade. That's your melee build. It's a normal complexity. It's pretty straightforward. Smash buttons in a certain order, right? After that, it says healer and spellcaster is the next up in difficulty, just because you have to watch out for a couple things, but that's it. The Dreadnought is probably the most difficult, but arguably one of the best like self-healing tanks out there. This thing can do so much damage while also healing itself. It's unreal. Or at least it used to. I don't know if it's the same anymore. But we're going to be doing Corruption, which is the spellcaster. Excusez-moi. Channel Cthulhu's destructive gaze, unleashing devastating void magics upon the battlefield. Intellect is our primary stat. Cultist, Corruption. While above 70 insanity, you are granted Corrupting Whispers. Corrupting Whispers increases magic damage dealt by 15% and reduces your mana cost by 20% and prevents insanity from decaying. So, that's terrible. Let's see. Umbral Voyage. Select a location on the ground to teleport to. Upon arrival, all enemies within 8 yards are revealed if stealthed. And then we also get Wrath of the Black Empire. Requires at least 80 insanity. It drains 30. Crush an enemy with overwhelming void power, dealing 94 shadow damage. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Alright, grab that quest. Go over here and turn this quest in. And then we never did go do the inn, I don't think. If we did, I don't remember doing it. Apparently we did. Okay. Let's go ahead and do all this because we need to go ahead and get our new skills as well. Or our new training, rather. That's a quest. That's a quest. Open and open. Okay. Then we're going to hit this. Hit you. Hit the book. Gaze of Cthulhu is going to rank up, completing that quest. Entropic Slam. This is another melee one. doesn't really help us at all since we're actually going to just throw that melee skill completely off. But if we were doing Godblade here, this is a great skill. Smash up to 6 enemies in a 10-yard frontal cone, dealing weapon damage plus 9 is shadow damage. Requires at least 80 insanity, though. Thing hits like a truck. Oop, I didn't see what that last one was. Ritual of Awakening. Brings a dead ally back to life with 2,200 health and 1,650 mana. Cannot be used while in combat. We're taking that off our bar. That's useless to us as well. So there we go. Leveled up all that stuff. And now we're just trying to get to level 11. Alright, so as far as quests go, we're going to grab this, and then we're going to run down and do the Harpies real quick. Complete this southern area here. Actually, while we're here, we're going to go turn in this quest. We're not going to do that one yet, because there's going to be some more quests that take us up over to this side anyway, so we'll go pick that up here in a minute. Okay. I found you, Doug. Thanks, buddy. I found you, Doug. Oh, we've got the Devouring Fires. Let's go do those, because then we could just run back across and turn that in, and then go do these. I forgot about the fires. That is a very easy quest to do. Alright. Overall, though, I will say Cultist is not feeling the way I want to spend however long it takes us to get to level 60. It just doesn't feel like my kind of class, to be perfectly honest with you. Throw that. Just need one more fire. I mean, it feels relatively strong now. What's up, Mango? How's it going, bud? This feels relatively strong now, but I don't think I like its playstyle, so we may not be using this as our main. I think we're still, I think Stormbringer is still the way to go, to be perfectly honest. Alright, so now we're going to run down here and grab that. It is not, unfortunately. But I was getting to the point where I was just not having fun on Bronzebeard anymore. What is with the constant slow fall on this spider? That's so weird. But I was not having fun on Bronzebeard anymore. Yeah. Like, I was doing fine on Bronzebeard, but then for whatever reason, we got to the chamois, and we were doing the tank build, and it started off being really fun. And then there was just a point where, like, I literally did not want to log in. I didn't want to play the character. I didn't feel like starting another character on Bronzebeard. I just didn't want to do anything. And so I was like, you know what? I know I have fun with the classes here on COA. So let's just go back to doing that. It's got all the same stuff that Bronzebeard has, technically. So let's just run COA. And we're gonna play through all the spellcasters, because I want to be a spellcaster, and find out which one we like the best, and then that's the one that we're just going to stick to until the game goes live, and then we'll probably stick to it once the game goes live anyway. We'll just have to re-roll it because obviously when the game goes live, the server is going to get yeeted and deleted. So, but the class that I've had the most fun on so far, coming back to it with all the changes, has been the Stormbringer. It's just how I feel on it. And that's that. I mean, I'm sure people have heard me say this plenty. If you're gonna play a game that's gonna invest this kind of time in it, play what you enjoy. Otherwise, you're gonna get burnt out really fast trying to play a game. If you're playing something that you don't want to play or don't enjoy playing, that's why I always disliked it when I was trying to find like raid groups back in the day that were like, oh, well, we see that the character you're trying to bring in is, XYZ. We don't need that. We need ABC. So you need to roll one if you want to be part of our guild. And anytime you have someone tell you, hey, this is the class we want you to play, or we need you to play, or you have to play, without fail, it becomes very boring very quickly. Oh, that's a rare. Heal up. Really? There we go. I tell you what, though, aside from getting burnt out playing a character that you don't want to play, speaking on raids, if you ever happen to be a raid master, and this is for anybody that's going to try and run a raid, whether that's for a specific guild or you're pugging it, whatever the case is, if you state that a rule is how you are going to run that dungeon, that raid, whatever the case may be, I don't care what the rule is, all right? Stick to it. Don't have a buddy of yours in the raid that wants a particular item and you state at the very beginning of the raid that you're going to roll, or you're going to have everyone that can use that piece of gear roll for it, and then when your buddy doesn't win the roll, you're like, oh, but I need to give it to my buddy because he's in my guild, or he's my friend, or he's, got a worse piece of gear than you've got in that slot. Like, that shouldn't matter. If you're going, hey, and I bring this up because I pugged with my hunter once. I had a marksman hunter in retail, and we were doing Firelands, I think is the name of the stupid raid. It's in Mount Hyjal. And we were doing that raid. And one of the bosses drops a crossbow. It's a very good crossbow. Until you can get the 25-man version of it, and then end up getting the heroic versions. But it was a huge upgrade for me. Huge upgrade for me. And the guy who was raid leading was a friend of mine at the time. He had just left our guild, joined another guild so that he could be a raid leader, and their raid nights were more convenient for him than where ours were because of his job. So, like, no hard feelings that way. But he messages me, sees that I'm on, and he goes, hey, man, you got enough time and a character that can do Firelands? We need a DPS. I said, absolutely. I can definitely do Firelands. I've got a hunter that's geared enough to do Firelands. I know all the fights because we've been doing Firelands with the other... I've been doing Firelands with my I was doing a druid healer with my main guild. I said, so yeah, I can definitely pug with you. See, look at this slow fall effect. What the heck? I was like, I can definitely do Firelands on my hunter, so no big deal there. And he goes, okay, here's the loot rules that I've told everybody that they are. Anything that drops, if it is a, since you're coming in with a hunter, and we already have another hunter in the group as well, if a piece of gear drops that is hunter specific, then you guys will roll on it. Whoever gets the highest roll will get it. I'm like, sounds fair, no big deal. Crossbow drops on that boss. I roll. I don't remember what I rolled, but I beat the guy handily. I mean, it wasn't even this is a close number kind of roll. It was, I beat him 9 kinds to Sunday on that roll. And the guy goes, at first he goes, oh, okay, we got the rolls in. Everybody in the group can see the roll. They can see I won the crossbow. So he can't just come out and go, hey, I'm going to give it to my friend, because he's the one that stated the rule. So he messages me privately while we're in the dungeon, and he goes, hey, would you be okay with me handing it to my buddy, because this is number one, his main character, he doesn't pug, this is the only raid that he does, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you know what, man? I understand where you're coming from, but you set the raid rules. There was no caveat on it. There was no stipulations. It was, if a gear drops for a hunter, you guys roll for it. And if you win the roll, you get the piece of gear. So if you go back on it now, then, nobody's going to want you as the raid leader. And he's like, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. It's just, like I said, this is his main character. Yada, yada. I said, again, I feel bad for him, but you asked me to take time out of my day to come help you do this. You set the loot rules. You got to follow the loot rules. If you don't, I'm dipping right now. Like, you're going to have to go find another pug who's willing to come in. We're already, 3 bosses in at this point. Most people are not going to join if you're 3 bosses in. They're just not. You might find somebody, but typically it's going to be somebody who doesn't know the boss fights, doesn't know mechanics, doesn't know, or isn't geared high enough for the dungeon, or the raid. And so basically I just told him, I was like, if you give him the piece of gear, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to, mess up your raid dynamic here, but if you give him that piece of gear, I'm bouncing. And if I'm asked by anybody, I'm going to tell them the truth. It's because you set a loot rule that you wouldn't follow. So I ended up getting the crossbow. And literally the next week, the bow dropped again, because it had a very high chance of dropping. So the hunter that was in there with us still got the piece. It's not like he was, out for months at a time. I might have felt a little worse if it had a lower drop chance, but it's like a 75% drop chance for that particular piece. So, yeah, that's the cape that I want. But, yeah, I mean, that's where I stand on it, is if you're going to be a raid leader, it doesn't matter at all. Set a rule, stick to it. That's it. All right. We're going to grab this, because free money. Grab his quest. So we need more cougar paws. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna run up here and do the Beldoon digger quest, and then hope that that is a world forged item there. Boop. There we go. We'll take out any cougars that we find along the way, but we want to get them to all respawn, basically, because we've already taken out a bunch on this side. Typically, I do the cougars way over here because they spawn way more. But we can do it on this side. It's not that big of a deal. But as long as we're over here, we actually get quite a few quests that we're going to be able to turn in. Because we have 27 minutes before we hit the 2-hour mark with this character. Next spellcaster that we will be working on, I believe, is the Sun Cleric. I'll need to double check that. Dang it. Was not paying attention to that. But yeah, I believe the Sun Cleric will be the next spellcaster. Because I think that's the one that's after Cultist. This area is super dangerous because of how easy it is to accidentally pull, like, this whole area. Let's heal up. And so the appraisers are not the ones that you want. You want to get the diggers. They're the ones that are going to have the stuff that you need. But I like to try and get over to this little spot right here, because it gives us access to plenty of diggers. And it's where we need to be anyway to break the mining picks. Because we should be at like 3, yeah. Okay, we'll just walk down this way just a tad bit. $11 already. That's 4. We need 1 more. Hopefully I can pull just this guy. Yep. There we go. Now we got 5. And then as long as you're next to this anvil, there we go. All 5 are now broke. That quest is done. We can mount up and get out. And we still need 3 more cougar paws. Like, look at this slow fall. What is This is not supposed to happen. Oh, and we took fall damage? What? Nah, bruh. That's terrible, man. First you give our mount, which is not supposed to have a slow fall effect at all, a slow fall effect, and then you're gonna tell me that when I try to use it, I take fall damage? That's dumb and terrible. Alright, that quest is now done. So we're gonna run over here, we're gonna grab this so that we can turn in that. The Hunter's Way, we need Flatland Prowlers. Nah, we can do the Prowlers when we do all the stuff up here. Alright, we're gonna grab this. In case we ever get to 80 Insanity, we can now proc Wrath of the Black Empire, crush an enemy with overwhelming void power. This sounds something like the Sith Lords would have. Do you know what I mean? Crush your enemy with overwhelming void power. So. No, do not. No, I didn't do it. Well, since it gives us a slow fall at an angle, I wonder if there's ever a part where we could jump off a hill and at just the right distance we would hit water. Tell you what, that 20% haste is actually really good. Come on, I'm trying to get to this one point. $76. At least it drains our insanity too. Right? Like, it does a ton of damage and then drops our insanity down considerably. All right, let's go turn all these in. There is a World's Forged item here. So, money. Not that we're actually hurting for money at the moment. We're at 42 silver. We should hit level 12. Somebody in chat just said, oh, there's so many folks on right now. That's great. And then somebody's name in chat is Castiel. And so somebody was like, oh my god, are you a fan of Supernatural? Oh, makes me giggle. Alright, let's get all this turned in. We've got 18 minutes left to go. I feel like we're a little behind on leveling compared to the others there. Let's see, 18, 1, 136. That got turned in. Cleansing will get turned in over here. Then out over here on the road. Right there. Boop. There was level 12. All right, so if we try to stick to the center where it technically wants us to start, we end up getting reduces the cooldown of your Gaze of Cthulhu by 5 seconds, or increases your shadow damage dealt by 3% and healing done by 3%. I like that better, because that means we hit harder. See, at level 15, increases spell damage by 20% of your intellect and your spell haste rating by 10% of your intellect. That's nice. Gotta like that. Alright, so as far as quests go, we've got this here, then we've got all this over here to do. Let's see. I'm gonna try to go do this and then this quest. It might put us a little over that 2-hour mark, but not by much, if anything. Let's see. As far as, let's see, we get that up to rank 3. Presence of Yogg Saron. Assume a crazed presence, giving damage dealt by you a 15% chance to heal up to 10 allies within 10 yards for 25. Blade of the Empire now heals the 5 lowest health nearby allies within 30 yards for 10% of the damage dealt. This one is fantastic, whether you're doing the healer, whether you're doing the tank, or whether you're doing the melee DPS. This is a fantastic presence to have on. We also get to level up our Eldritch Mending, which is also very nice. And there we go. And then we dropped from like 42 silver down to 12. Let's see here. I like how we've already completed this quest and it says I need to still drink it. Can you help me find my dog? Arguably the coolest thing about Tarans is that one particular Taran right there that we just passed. The one that has the quest for Kyle. Because the boy's name was Kyle, and he was a Make-A-Wish Foundation kid. So that's, in my book, that is pretty neat. Wavy, 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 whoop, done. And now we're headed this way. We're going straight for the cave. See. We'll put us at 10. If I'd started an hour earlier, I would have been able to get 2 classes done tonight. It's all good, though. But, yeah, as of right now, Cultist just isn't gonna be the class I feel like sticking to as a main. Don't get me wrong, it is a very powerful class. And if it is one of those classes that you personally enjoy, by all means, go play the Cultist. It is a great class. It's just not a us class, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I like the Stormbringer so far. But that's why we're doing this. That's why we're going through and we're trying to figure out what class do we feel is the most compatible for us. Because we're going to spend quite a bit of time on it. We're going to go through and be playing this class for a while. And I feel like it is one of those things that we need to be able to do. Boom! Whoa! It didn't take so long to get our sanity up for that. That would have been an that's an impressive ability. I mean, like, I could spam all three of those and get the insanity up pretty quickly, but it's also one of those things where, like, do we really want to spend all three of our throws for it all in one go? You know what I mean? Oh, look at that. Okay. Get a little bit of that mana back up. But yeah, I mean, so far this class is strong. I'm not trying to say that it's not. It just, I don't like the fact that I'm having to juggle between making sure that I don't accidentally go insane and cause my character to have to take unnecessary damage. I missed. That's the other thing that's frustrating me, is the fact that we keep missing. I don't feel like we've missed that much on any of the other characters that we've leveled so far. We need one more coworker, and then we're done with this quest. Okay. Then we're just going to run out the way we came. 8 more minutes. Not bad. Let's see. We do have a hearth. So instead of running to town, let's run north so we can try and complete as much as we can up this way. See, this is what's going to suck. This is probably going to kill us. Look at that. Look how much damage we took, because this has a slow fall. Like, I'm almost tempted to grab one of the other mounts and see if they are behaving in a similar manner, and just seeing if that's some kind of glitch. Because, like, it shouldn't do this. It is fun to watch, though. Wee. All right. Oh, that's an alpha. Don't need the alphas. We need cougars. We need the kitty cats. Like this one. Boop. Oh, that didn't do hardly any damage. Is that another kitty cat there? Yep, sure is. Did not give us anything we needed, though. Okay. Hello! Give me your quest. There's plenty of kitty cats here. Hopefully 2 of these will give us their claws. There's one. That dodged. That barely took any damage. That's all 4. That's an elite. Hopefully we can just pull him. Okay, let's heal up. Okay, we just need one more. Collect and grab that quest. Here's our one more. There we go. Let's see. This, I believe, is more harpies. I am not on Bronzebeard currently. We're on COA. What is it? Zachariah? I hope I enunciated that correctly, boss. But yeah, we're on COA right now. Zach is cool? Okay. Fun fact, there is a cartoon called Zatch Bell, and it is spelled exactly the same way as that. It is ZACH space Bell, BELL. Imagine if there was like Digimon, but instead of them being these weird creatures that change shape and everything and have powers, it's a doll that has the weird powers. So, good show, but weird premise behind it. But, yep, we are... wait. Is everything getting a slow fall effect? What the... Look, I'm getting the slow fall effect. Bro, that is weird. I'm on Area 52 and was trying to find people to raid. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, Area 52 is really, really good. It has way more people than COA does. But yeah. No, I always try. I mean, if I can catch the message before people like dip out or whatever, I do my absolute best to try and always chat. But I also have this thing where I feel like if somebody messages me and I don't have the opportunity to respond or something like that, I feel like I'm doing a bad job at it. So, yeah. No, I am not new to WoW at all. I've been playing since essentially vanilla. I played like I think I played basically a month of vanilla on retail, and then Burning Crusade came out. But what got me started into WoW was the fact that at the time, me, my two brothers, my youngest sister, my stepdad, and I were all playing Diablo 2 at the time. And this is back before remaster. I mean, we're talking 2004, 2003, somewhere in that ballpark, whenever Diablo 2 came out, before its expansion. I mean, we played the absolute snot out of Diablo 2. And we got to be in this group of people that we did bail runs when the expansion dropped. I mean, that was all we did. The whole group would get together. There was somewhere in the neighborhood of about 16 of us total. And we'd end up getting two groups together that would just do bail runs for hours. Hours of bail runs. Just trying to get up on the leaderboards, right? And it got to the point where, like, we were all kind of just getting burnt out on playing Diablo. And my brother Sam at the time had convinced my stepdad to let him get this game called World of Warcraft. Hey, thanks for the follow. And my stepdad was like, why do you want it? Yada, yada. And he's like, it looks really cool. I've seen some commercials for it. And da, da, da. And keep in mind, he's a kid, right? So my stepdad is like, okay, I will give you a month. Like, I will pay for 1 month of subscription so you can play this. I appreciate that, Zach. But he's like, I will give you 1 month of playing this weird game called World of Warcraft. And if you stick to it, I will continue to pay for it. Cool. He does giveaways on Ascension for Area 52. Nice. That is awesome to hear. And then basically what ended up happening was shortly after my brother Sam convinced him to do that. Noxix Games will enter chat. Okay, sounds cool. I'll look for it. Oh, nice. What kind of giveaway is he doing? I don't really play on Area 52, but it's nice to know that he's doing a giveaway. He does all kinds, DP, skins, transmogs, everything. Nice. That is fantastic. I've done a couple giveaways myself. It's just a little difficult when atypically I get per stream. Every once in a while it changes. But like on YouTube, I get somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, I'd say 6 to 15 people consistently watching. And then over on Discord, it's usually 2, maybe 3 people total. So it gets a little difficult to try and do an actual giveaway without setting some, like, easy to get into. We have 12 to 15 people. Nice. He does a wheel. Well, that's fantastic. Okay. We did level up. We'll look at our passives here in just a second. Or our talent tree, not our passives. Okay, and he gives us our last cleansing totem quest, which is we got to go get alpha teeth that can be over here, and then we got to go up and do that one over there. Though we are technically, yeah, we'll keep going. Why not? I don't care. We could spend a little bit more time doing this. But for the record, at the 2-hour mark for this guy, we made it to level 13. Let's see how. Frizz pocket, thank you. 6, so grab that. And we do that. And then we have this quest to turn in, and then we'll go run down here and do this so we can come turn it in so that we can just run up here, do that. Then we can hearth to turn the last quest in there, and then we are good. We just got to go up to Thunder Bluff, turn in those quests, and then we're out to the Barrens. But yeah, for our 2-hour challenge on this guy, we made it to level 13, which is kind of a bummer in my opinion. I feel like we had a rough start simply because let's see, we can't do anything with that lockbox. The fact that we were consistently missing, I really hate where they put this guy. Look at that. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, the fact that we were consistently missing, and I think we forgot to look at the book here. Blade of the Empire leveled up, yay, and we did not get anything new. We do have a ton of stuff to sell, though. The fact that we were consistently missing at the beginning is what makes this class pretty rough. We're not missing as much now, and then when we do hit, we're hitting a lot harder than we were at the beginning, which is really good. Now, granted, the more we level up, the more this stuff is going to start giving us better stuff, like spell power, int, spirit, all that fun stuff. So we are getting more upgraded stats. So what is COA about? Like, why different than Area 52? So to answer that question, COA has 21 unique classes. They are not anything that you're going to find on Area 52, Elune, or even on Bronzebeard. For example, we are playing a Cultist. Now, I would put it that it is similar in the fact that Area 52 and Elune, by extension, have the ability to make crazy, wild, fantastical builds that you won't find in retail. The difference, however, is like on this, there is no skill cards that I need. There are no mystic enchants that you need like on Bronzebeard. And they do not use any of the original 9 classes as the foundation for their builds, right? There's no such thing as a warrior or a mage or a rogue in COA. I have a cultist, which is like a souped up shadow priest. But it's a shadow priest that can wear plate mail if it wants to be a tank or a DPS, and can self-heal and pull lots of aggro and just do a phenomenal amount of damage. There's other classes like the one that I think we're going to end up maining, which is the Stormbringer, which is a pure lightning spellcaster that has the ability to call massive amounts of lightning everywhere it goes. So there's a pyromancer, which is nothing but basically a fire mage. There is a ranger, which is essentially a hunter, but with more caveat. It is a hunter that has one build that is purely designed for you to do as much ranged power as you can. I want to get rid of our build up here. But it's designed to basically be the solo, scout kind of hunter. So you don't get pets. You're shooting arrows by yourself, kind of DPS. Interesting. Discord. Discord is the same as the channel name. It's Hello Heroes Guild. I don't really do a whole lot on Discord, but it is the same name. Let's see here. All right, so as far as our level 13 point goes, so we have Obliteration Beam, generates 10 insanity, costs 34 mana, unleash a beam of eldritch energy, dealing 84 shadow damage to an enemy and all enemies within 8 yards. While above 60 insanity, deal 20% more damage. Nice. Dark Wither generates 5 insanity. Wither an enemy, dealing 90 to 100 shadow damage over 18 seconds. Each instance of damage reduces their magic resistance by 5, stacking 5 times, which just means that they take more damage. I think we're going to go the beam first. Let's see. Dark Revelation grants your Horror Bolt a 20% chance to reset the cooldown of Gaze of Cthulhu. While above 40 insanity, your chance to trigger this effect is increased by 10%. Yeah, we're definitely going the beam. That sounds awesome. Presence of Yogg-Saron, we can get rid of that off our bar because it's right there. That's the Healy presence that we get. Beam will go here. We'll try that out here in just half a second. But, yeah. It's just, as far as differences between Area 52 and COA, the differences are great enough that it almost feels like an entirely different game. If you want my honest opinion on it. There's enough unique classes that each have their unique play styles that it doesn't feel like if I'm playing a melee character, it doesn't feel like all the melee characters are the same. They're just different enough to where they feel good, right? Some of them, in my opinion, feel a little clunky, simply because, like, for example, the Knight of Zarath, most definitely the slowest attacking melee class there is, but that thing hits like a freight train. I mean, it does phenomenal damage. It just takes forever to swing. It's like, until you get to about level 15-ish, 20-ish, that class just swings so slow. But anything you hit, in most cases, you could probably one-tap anything but an elite after, like, level 4. Because you buff your sword, and then you run over and whop, and it's gone. But then you have, like, the Reaper, which is this fast attacking, two-handed, or dual-wielding, depending on which spec you go, assassin-style kind of build that also can buff itself by using the souls you reap from the enemies you kill. So, like, there are classes that are very unique, and they are built in a way that make them feel different than everybody else. Like, we're doing just the spellcasters, and not one spellcaster has felt the same. Mechanically, it's the same. I push a button, spell goes off, that kind of thing. But outside of that, the skills, the reason for doing stuff like this guy, we have to worry about our sanity bar. Our sanity bar fills, and it gives us access to other skills, or those skills get buffed based on how much insanity we have. The Pyromancer has a heat mechanic that we now have to keep track of, which I hate, but I understand it. And as that heat fills up, it gives us a cinder, and the cinder we can use to empower other skills, to make them instant cast, whatever, right? And so, like, each class might mechanically be the same, but the way they're played and how they feel is different and unique, and I love that. And don't get me wrong, I've played on Area 52 and Illume. And some of the archetypes are fantastic. My issue with both of those servers, and it's part of the reason why I have a problem with Bronzebeard too, is the skill card or mystic enchant system that they came up with. Yes, it makes your build slightly more unique. But when you add that kind of a mechanic, where if I'm playing, say, the, for example, like I played the Grove Ranger, right? If I want to be a Grove Ranger, I have to have a certain set of cards and mystic enchants for the Grove Ranger to even be viable. Otherwise, you don't get the skills that you need for the Grove Ranger. They just won't exist because you don't have the cards needed for it. And the way to get some of those cards is incredibly complex. And if you do, if you're not basically following a guide, you might miss where to get those cards. And so for me, that kind of takes me out of the immersion of the game when I need to do that. Now, Area 52 fixed that with the archetype system, where you can go in and go, I want to be a Grove Ranger. And so it automatically gives you all the cards that you need. It gives you all of the skills that you need. And then when you hit 60, it permanently unlocks them so you can do a new build if you prestige. Or at least that's how it was the last time I played Area 52. I don't know if that's still the same mechanic. But it's frustrating. Like, if I didn't want to do an archetype and I was like, I'm just going to build it myself, in order for me to build anything successfully, I have to go get cards. Now, there are easy ways to get cards, like doing Mana Storms. But the only way to get cards consistently with Mana Storms is to constantly progress in Mana Storms. And so it's a lot of frustrating mechanics for someone like me, where I can get immersed in how the cultist is. Because I don't need to go, oh, I need to go run over here in the Barrens and take out this one guy and hope that he drops, the Mystic Enchant or the card that I need for my build. That was one of the biggest frustrations that we had with Bronzebeard, trying to get our hunter to be the survival melee build. We were trying to get the Black Widow melee mystic enchant, and the only way to do that was to come here to Syphilis, and we needed to fight elite spiders that were down here. And the problem with that is the card is usable at 45. The elites are like 40 or we're 53 elites. And so you're like, how does that make sense? How is it that the elite is number one in elite, and number two, it's almost 10 levels higher than the card that they drop is, and it's not even 100% drop rate. It was somewhere in the neighborhood of a 20 to 30% drop rate, and in some cases felt like it was closer to a 10% drop rate, because we were out there for like 2 hours one day. Thankfully, with someone that watches the channel, was helping us try to get those cards. Or that Mystic Enchant. And it was literally 2 hours worth of farming those spiders to get it. And that's ridiculous, in my opinion. I get that that's how you get people to play and stay longer, but come on. There's level 12. Or level 14. Alright, so we get Empire Commander. This improves our strength, stamina, and intellect by 4% and increases our expertise by 10. We could also grab Wicked Intentions. Increases your critical strike chance by 3% and hit chance by 3%. That's good. And reduces the gaze. Let's grab... Let's see. Intellect is good, yes. Hit and crit is good as well. So we want to grab that and then this. So we're going to grab you. And then... Book. We get Confuse. Presence of Yasarj. Void Blessing. And then we're... Level 16 is the next one that we get. So the new skills that we just got. We've got Presence of Yasarj. Assume a powerful presence, giving direct damage dealt by you a 20% chance to absorb the next 42 damage taken for 8 seconds. Blade of the Empire. Now despoils the ground beneath enemies in an 8-yard radius for 8 seconds, reducing their attack power and shadow resistance, scaling with stamina. This is for the tank, by the way. You may only have one presence active at a time. We don't need that on our bar because all of our presents go up here. We also have Confuse. Interrupt a enemy target's current spell cast and prevents any spell in that school from being cast for 4 seconds. Just a basic interrupt. And then we did get this. This is Void's Blessing. Empower an ally with the Blessing of the Void, restoring 10 mana every 5 seconds for 30 minutes. We haven't used this yet. Let's try this skill out. This is our teleport. Boop. Okay, it doesn't really make it that good if you can keep moving while casting. Okay. Once we get, we're going to be flying to Crossroads, by the way, once we turn these in. And then we're going to go ahead and, let's see, what time is it? It is 10:20. Technically, my happy butt needs to go to bed at 11 o'clock, which gives us 40 minutes. We can go ahead and start the next Spellcaster. We're not grabbing that. Well, I don't know. Where does this take us? Oh, he wants us to do RSJ, which is an elite that wanders. So let's get over to the Barrens. get over to Crossroads. My brain drawing a blank there. Show me where I can fly. We're going to fly to the Crossroads. Because we're now officially done. I mean, there's a bunch of quests that you can pick up here that will still have things to do around Thunderbluff. I hate that the map does that now. But we're basically 90% done, if not higher, with all of Mulgore. Like, there's really nothing else for us to do here. So we can go to the Barrens now and do Crossroads. If you guys have seen me do Crossroads before, especially on Bronzebeard, we pick up all the quests and we kind of just start making like a circle as we go out to complete everything. Once we complete all of the Crossroads, we go over here to Ratchet. Please stop doing it. They gotta fix that. We go to Ratchet. From Ratchet, we do all their quests. There's not a whole lot. There's a couple that lead us up here and then basically along this coastline. Then from there, we go down here to Camp Tarajo, or whatever the name of this place is. Tarajo, I don't know. But we go here, which just leads us further south. There's another quest we pick up here that leads us to there. And then from there, you pretty much have your choice of either going Stone Talon Mountains, Ashenvale, or Thousand Needles. Typically what I do is I go Stone Talon Mountains, then Thousand Needles, and then Ashenvale. Because Ashenvale actually takes a lot longer to do because of how much running around you have to do. But let's grab the inn. We're actually going to go ahead and start our next spellcaster. Because again, we're spending 2 hours on each caster, right? So make that. We're going to log out. And then we're going to go ahead and make the next spellcaster. I believe the next one is the Sun Cleric. But in 2 hours, a little over 2 hours, we made it to level 14. So I'll just round it down. We'll say 2 hours level, or we'll just say, sorry, we'll say in 2 hours we got to level 13. Okay? Level 13 in 2 hours. Now, the Pyromancer doesn't count because, again, we did it for 4 hours and we got into a group, right? And yes, I know I have a Sun Cleric here. This was a hardcore challenge that Devin and I were attempting, but he's hardly ever on, so this guy's probably going to end up getting deleted. But as you can see, the Primalist that I had started a while back, he's not a spellcaster, but the Primalist that we had started, he has about 2 hours under his belt. He got to a level 15. The Stormbringer, he's ally level slower, unfortunately. This homeboy got to level 13. Blood Mage, this is one that Devin and I played, and we actually stood around for about 30 to 40 minutes because Devin was on a phone call. This homeboy got to level 12. Necromancer made it to level 15 inside his just slightly over 2 hours of gameplay. I love this outfit, by the way. I think it really fits the like corrupted necro look for him. And then we've got the Cultist, which again, 2 hours in, got to level 13. So let's go. Oh, no, Starcaller. Nope, Starcaller does not have a Spellcaster. That's the prerequisite that we're going with. So we're going Sun Cleric. Sun Cleric does have a Spellcaster, so we're going there. Again, we're going to go Horde because they level faster. Let's make this one a Troll just for giggles. Once we get her started, the next one after that is going to be the Rune Master. So let's go customize. This is going to be Holy Fire Sun. Oh, I can't do it, so we'll just go HHG at the end. It would confuse anyone if they played on area. See, oh, name your character Rum Runners. I might do that for the Rune Master. That seems like a good name. Why does it feel like I saw the stuff for the Necromancer? Did I goof? We did. That's the Necromancer. Gosh darn it. I goofed! No! Out of waters. Ugh. I tell you what, Zach, just cause, and because I also made a big boo-boo there. Create new character. Make sure we click on the Sun Cleric this time. Alright, you said to name it Rum Runner Zach. How about that? Yep, there you go. Just for you. I am an MS Gold, MS levels, Mythic, and stuff for newbies and stuff, and help people with auras and stuff. And I help randos. Nice. Okay. Boom. Move that over there. Profiles. I really need to go through and delete all these. That's a heal. Put that in there. We need 2 of these. This. Yeah, no, we want the sorcerer. Dread Mist. Pick up what we can for it. Oop. Nope, dang it. Oh well. It's fine. I can change this. Okay. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Pick up this. Oh, apparently I gave myself 2 of those. Is it shoulders that I needed? No, yeah, mantle, and I need the legs. There we go. Boom. Wardrobe. I know exactly what we're gonna go. Set. Because come on, we're playing a Sun Cleric. That's gotta be. Oh, I can't wear the. Okay, I forgot. Forgot we can't do a staff. Is this the damage? Yeah, that's the damage one. We want the Blessed Hammer. You. Oop, that's not what I wanted. Click you. Turn both of you off. I'm not worried about that right now. We want the shield just so I can get the XP, even though it's the tank shield. We just want experience points. All right. Okay. This gets to move here. We want to go vanity, wardrobe, cosmetic, loot, apply, and book. There we go. Whew. The fastest ever. So tomorrow evening we will finish this guy. So we've got 30 minutes, which means tomorrow we will have an hour and a half to try and get to whatever level we can in that 2-hour time frame, or total of 2-hour time frame. So we're already doing more damage than the cultist did at level 1. Like, this is crazy how much more damage we're doing. Come on. There we go. 6 of 8. Need 2 more. It seems like they got rid of the big AoE sound, or like kaboom sound that we had for this skill. Because at one point you would cast this and it was like every third cast it would just go off and you just boom, boom. It was crazy. Like you could hear they didn't even have to be in your party. You would hear a sun cleric from halfway across the continent. It was ridiculous how loud the thing would go off when it procced its animated noise. It was insane. Now, yes, we are level 2 and we're about to go fight a level 4 Scorpid. Usually I wouldn't recommend this in most cases, but oh, that's our first miss. Ooh, he hits hard. Could be us or him. And it was us. Heal up. And here we go. Jump. Okay. There's level 3 for us. This is actually the fastest way to get back over to town if you do those quests just like we did. All you gotta do is fall off here after running back, and you've got your turn in here, and then the one behind us. We can accept that quest. Let's see, 15, 18. We want the 18. 37, 25. So we want the 37. Solar Blessing. I'm going to run past everybody just so that I can get rid of this stuff out of our inventory real quick. Go. It is interesting to note that they did get rid of the class quests. There used to be class quests for every class at level 3. but they got rid of it because they were constantly breaking, getting bugged. They would move one little thing and the whole chain would get messed up. Some of them were just confusing on what you needed to do in order to complete the quest. If you had a buddy that was trying to do it at the same time as you were able to figure it out a little bit easier. But yeah, for the most part, they were just confusing. Didn't really give you anything that was worth a darn. Even if you're not using heirloom gear like we are, the level 3 quest was just... It wasn't good. No XP. Let's see. We want to do the little dudes while they're shaking in their boots. There's one up here we'll grab. But yeah, I mean, it was not good. So I was glad that they got rid of the level 3 quests. We want to put you down here. We want to move you down here. Click you. We need one more dude shaking in his boots. There's one right there. And then we can start the peons and the apples and the scorpids and the vile familiars. All in our normal little... So that quest is now done. So we go... Whop. Okay. And whop. And we're doing enough damage that right now, I don't feel the necessity to try and see if we have enough stuff to sell yet to get money to get our spells for level 2. So we can wait until we complete these quests to get to like level 4 and just buy all those skills all at one time. Now, if we were struggling to get through this, I would say absolutely sell everything that you have picked up and hope to have enough to buy your level 2 spells. If there's anything we get for level 2. I don't even know. It's been so long since we've played the Sun Cleric. I don't know if the level 2 skills are worth it. We might get Horosoth Blast, which is a pretty big throwable, but it requires, if I remember correctly, us to have sun energy. And we don't have access to sun energy yet. Or solar power, that's what it's called, solar power. So this class, at a certain point, will use mana and rage in order to do spells. Some will rely on the rage mechanic, or not rage, sorry, solar power. Some will require solar power, others will require mana. At least I think that's what it is. Wow, 2 misses in a row? Come on, don't be as bad as the cultist. Okay, last scorpion that we need. There we go. Get all of our mana back. We can move this down here. We can move this down here. We can click you. Smack you. You're done. And now we just need the Vile Familiars so we can go turn it all in. Motivate. We'll just keep running. There we go. Three more. one more. Okay. Now we're going to pick up 2 World Forged items on our way back. There's a staff here and a sword there that we can pick up. And there's also a PvP event that we'll do real fast that will give us a chest piece. So that's 3 World Forged items that we can actually turn in all at one time. Jump and run. So, I showed this in a previous stream, but if you come over to this guy, go challenge, ready, run over to this group of people. Holy cow! We saw another player! You'll actually get the guards to help out. When we did the Necromancer, I showed this. And he's like, ah! And then you just loot this, and it's a free green chest. Which is, you know, we've gotten 3 World Forged items just on a run backward to town, so. May your blades never dull. Now, the reason why I do it this way is simply because this is the easiest way to complete all of the quests in the simplest, least amount of time consuming to do. Because if you run to the cave, try and complete everything, you're going to end up having to go back in the cave anyway. And so this just makes it to where you have one trip in that cave. Right? So, I forgot we had a turn in here. And then we need to sell everything in our inventory so that we can start getting upgraded skills. And more skills. Okay. Am I able to sell to these guys? Oh, it won't even let me talk to them anymore. Okay. Used to, you could talk to those guys and sell stuff, even though they weren't your trainers. Oh, no, I'm thinking of Bronzebeard, because you're able to buy Mystic Enchants from your trainers. That's level 11 silver there. So we get Dawn. There we go. Vow of Radiance, Vow of Atonement, Glorious Execution. That's all we got for that. So Dawn requires 20 solar power, consumes all solar power in a radiant eruption, dealing 52 holy flame damage to enemies and 21 healing to allies within 15 yards. Grants you radiant alignment. Radiant alignment, your next 10 damaging or healing spells or abilities will trigger the fulfillment effect of your vow. Can only occur once per second. Excuse me. Lasts 1 minute. Solar power cannot be generated while radiant alignment is active. Each damaging or healing spell will expend a charge, regardless of whether or not your current vow is fulfilled by it. So that's cool. We did get Vow of Radiance. It's the first passive buff thing that we can get, honestly. It says direct ability damage now grants 2 solar power and deals 15% additional damage as holy flame damage. Fulfillment. Next instance of ability damage unleashes a solar flare on the target, dealing 23 fire damage. So that's the one that we want. Kaboom. We also got Gavel of Atonement. That is a melee skill. As you'll notice that we're not in range for it. This is also a melee one. But the Gavel, strike an enemy for 85 weapon damage, plus 10, and heal yourself equal to the damage dealt, which is nice. Then we also grabbed Glorious Execution. Strike with both weapons. This requires you to be a dual wielder, so we can't really do it. Dealing 140% weapon damage, plus 4 physical damage, and regenerate mana equal to 5% of the damage dealt. So, bam. That's the gavel, so it allows us to heal. Both of those have cooldowns. But as you can see, when we are casting our spells, you'll notice that we're now getting 2 points of damage. We get the base from the deal, and then we're getting a little bit of extra damage from our Vow of Radiance. And I'm trying to get... Okay, so you'll notice how this now is all shiny. This means that this is now full. It's at 20. So if I hit Dawn, and now I hit this, and you can see it does more damage. Considerable more damage. So I'm actually going to expend the last few points of it. Now, we've got, it says 29 seconds left. I think that's a 5. But I can click this. Yeah, it was 5. So if you don't, that's actually new, being able to turn it off like that to get your solar power back. So if we're in the middle of a fight and everything goes down and I just popped my solar, I can get all of it back without having to be like, oh man, now I got to get the stacks back, which is the way it used to be, is you had to get all the stacks back, even if you didn't use any skills, which was a little frustrating, to be honest with you. All right, 12 minutes, and this will be a full 30, or sorry, 10 minutes, and this will be a full 30 minutes on this guy, I believe. But we'll give it the full 12 minutes, so right at 11 o'clock Central is when we will end this. All right, so we're going to hit this, and then just watch how fast we can burn this guy down now. And it does AoE damage. I did not realize that originally. Like, look at that. That's insane. If you want a cheeky way to get up here, I don't know if this was intentional or if this is something that's always been, like, even in retail. In retail, I don't remember you being able to do this. If you aim right at this pillar and jump, you can get up here. Oop. There we go. Now we can run out of the dungeon. And that is a bind on account ring that we picked up, by the way. So, free money. Or not bind on account. World Forged. It's a world shiny. I can tell you what, as a hybrid build so far, Sun Cleric is really putting in the work. I am not upset with it. All right, so now we get to run down here. We turn those 3 in, and then we get to come up here and start all the new stuff. 9 minutes. We'll go for exactly 3 hours. So that's 2 hours, a little over 2 hours. Well, technically it was 2.5 hours on the Tauren for the Cultist. Though in the 2 hours we got to level 13. This guy's on track to beat that, I think. But we'll see. We will see. We're going to end up spending 30 minutes in 10 minutes. So, yeah. That means tomorrow after work when I get home, we will have an hour and a half to finish leveling this guy as best we can in that 2 hour mark. And then move on to the next. But as of right now, this is actually a good contender. So far, we'll see. I don't know yet. But it is a good contender for what I would want to main. Number one, it gives us access to more classes, or like more specs that we can do. Because this class also has 4 specs. It has a melee DPS, the caster DPS, a healer, and a tank as well. So bear that in mind. I can tell you I've been sitting for a long time today. Like my joints are starting to want to creak and hurt. Vow of Grace, we'll read that one. Sunflare, new level up on Sunflare there. Solar Invocation, Censor, that's a silence, I believe. And that looks like all we were able to get for that. Okay, so Censor is shackle an enemy in the chains of light, dealing 32 holy damage and slowing their movement. That's actually pretty good. We might end up using that. Vow of Grace, we're going to put this down here with the vows. But direct damage dealt now regenerates 5% of your missing mana, and you generate 1 solar power every 3 seconds. Fulfillment. Remove the mana cost of your next damaging or healing ability and reduces its cooldown by 10%. I personally like the one that is allowing us to do AoE damage and extra damage on top of all of that. So we're going to keep our current vow. Alright. Last Tiki Mask. Let's go turn this one in 6 minutes. Level 7. Level 7, and we've almost used up the full 30 minutes. Which is crazy. Now, when we were doing the Necromancer, we had to take out, like, every gosh dang snake to get the essence from these guys. Granted, we're taking these ones out way faster than we did with the Necromancer. Sorry, bud. There we go. But hey, we found another player. That's different. Just blitzing through this now. Whew, that scared the absolute bejeebus out of me. Oh, thank you, Noxic Game, for the raid. That scared the bejeebus out of me. What's going on? Magras, Procs and NFT, what's going on? Okay, we got the bat. We need to just drop down here. He's your HR department. Nice try, Venomancer, for trying to take my kill, though. How's it going, Noxic? Sonora, what's up? Alright, we're gonna finish these 2 quests. And then we're gonna end up having to call it a night because I do, unfortunately, have work in the morning. And that means I have to get some form of sleep. Come on. Boom. Yeah, imagine working. Oh, it'd be nice to be able to do this for a living. My goal. But, sadly, I don't have the capability of doing that quite yet. Alright, so we are now done with this quest. We just need to go turn in both of these, and we're good to rock and roll. Ooh, okay, can't go that way. Stop following me, Venomancer. Hope stream is going well. Thought I'd throw some people at you through the wife's request. Well, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. As I was explaining to your wife earlier, this is the most amount of people I've had on Twitch all at one time. Usually I only have 2, maybe 3 people watching. But I do appreciate the raid. It really does make my evening so much better. Let's see, continue. Yes. Grab the next quest. We will do this next quest, and then we will actually call it, because it's just run up around, grab the elementals that are up here. I don't track viewers or anything like that. I just like to have fun and talk to whoever is active. Good fun. Oh yeah, no, 100%. I'm on the same boat. When I just sit to watch, I like to just chit chat with the people. So I always look for channels that don't have, you know, a bazillion freaking people talking. But I do appreciate you guys coming in. It does make the day a lot better for me. So thank you very much, Noxic. And the fun part for me on the whole thing is, there are, I mean, if you go back and watch any of my live streams on YouTube, there's times where I just sit for 2+ hours talking to myself. So it was fun having you guys join. It was great having your wife come in and talk with me for the last bit. So it was really fun, and I appreciate it, and I thank you immensely for it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's get this turned in, and then I will, unfortunately, like I said, have to call it a night. I do appreciate you guys stopping in. We will be streaming again tomorrow evening, so you guys are more than welcome to come say hello again tomorrow if you would like. I do stream, just so you guys know, I do stream pretty much every day except for Thursdays. Those are my days to kind of just relax and chill because I work 5 days a week at my actual job, and I stream for 6 days out of the week. So Thursdays are my day where I don't do anything. But it's nice to see all you guys. Yeah, I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys like the content and want to see more of it. If you do, make sure you follow me over here on Twitch. Or you can subscribe to me over on YouTube. Either way, you'll get notifications of when I go live. But outside of that, guys, I hope everybody is having a blessed evening. Have a great holiday week. Christmas is coming up. Thank you, Noxix, for the follow. I appreciate that. And I will catch you heroes in tomorrow's stream. Stay safe out there. And as always, stay legendary. Peace out.